There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. Yep, this is good stuff. I'm Coach Ricardo Miller, and I'm excited about the conversation today. You don't want to miss this. This is going to be real good. So I want you guys to dive on in here. Let's break a record. Let's make something good happen today. I need as many of you guys to do me a favor and share, share, share. It's a beautiful, beautiful Saturday here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. How is everything there with you guys? I need you to let me know. How are things where you are? Okay? Here's the deal. It's October 31st. Tomorrow is November 1st. Oh my goodness. November 1st. November 1st. 2 more months, y'all. And then we move into 2021. I know there are people right now talking about 2021 is my year. You better make the next 2 months your months, okay? Make the next 2 months your months. Please check in, guys. As you're coming in, please let me know where you are. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm Coach Ricardo Miller, and I'm about to introduce my guest. We got some stuff to talk about, and it's going to be real good. So please check in with me and let me know you're watching and where you're watching from. Okay, I want to know. I want to know who's watching. Who's watching? Let me know, please. Let me know. All right. Well, let me introduce my guest to those of you joining us live on Facebook, and for those of you joining us live on YouTube. Denver Pratt. This is a gentleman making things happen. He's passionate about purpose, and he is on fire for the things of God. Mesquite, Texas, and Nassau, Bahamas. What's up? All right, guys. Listen, Denver, welcome to Effective Living, man.
Yeah, Ricardo, man, I thank you for having me. It's definitely an honor and a privilege just to be here with you, man. I'm excited about what's getting ready to take place.
Likewise, likewise. I mean, when I got up this morning, I'm on my third engagement for today. Okay, I'm on. I had no. This is the fourth. This is the fourth. I'm talking about. I mean, this Saturday is rolling. 2 more activities after we do this interview. I'm talking about. I'm going late into the night. You know why, Denver? Because I've
Wow.
discovered that days are expensive. A day wasted is a day you'll never have again. How many of you guys agree with me with that if you're watching? A day wasted is a day you'll never have again. And so I decided that before the clock ticked new month, before 12, listen, before November 1st hit, yeah, boy, I'm going to get some stuff out of this month. But before I go on and do the rest that I have to do, I have to get this conversation going in, man. They say lockdown in Nassau. Is it lockdown?
Yeah, we on a little temporary weekend lockdown, but I think the majority of us, Ricardo, are kind of used to it, so we making the best of it.
Hey, let me tell you. Listen, people can still make things happen during a lockdown. Okay, don't you listen. You can write that book. Come on. You can start structuring that business. You can start looking at your budget and come on, working that budget and start looking at how and what you're going to do with the money you have or the money you're about to get. You could start working on your yard. Come on. You could start painting a room. You could just start deep cleaning closets and cupboards and cabinets and refrigerators. Don't tell me. Listen, man, I feel on you are highly favored of God. Woo! Hey, good day, everyone joining in. What's up, Jocelyn? God bless you. Listen, we have an extra hour of productivity, an extra hour to be productive. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, guys, let's all make as much happen today because, listen, tomorrow is November 1st. Denver, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. You have a very interesting story, and I wanted to take some time out and give our viewers uh, an opportunity to meet and hear and connect with different people with different stories that are on a mission to living life effectively, on a mission to living life on purpose. Tell us about your story, your childhood story. Let's tell us that little introduction. You grew up in Nassau. Did you grow up on Soldier Road like me? Did you grow up in Angliston?
Well,
Did you grow up?
well, you Well, Ricardo, a little bit of my childhood story, like any other inner city child, how we grow up, man. It's very interesting because most of us who grow up in the inner city know what it is to play some rondins, know what it is to fly some kites and shoot some
Yeah.
marbles and spin some
Uh-huh.
tops. So
Yeah.
that's what's kind of a part of my childhood. Roaming the streets, getting in trouble, man, looking for things that you didn't put down, and shooting marbles. You bring your bag, I bring my bag, and next thing someone go home without no marbles. And you know how it was, like in Washington Street where you grew up, and then down off Sugar Kid Road,
Yeah.
Soldier Road. That's what was up, man. Shooting marbles, the
Yeah.
best man win.
Yeah.
You take your marbles and you go home crying.
so let me ask you this, man. Were you any good with marbles, or did you get your marbles taken? Did you know how to spin top? Who can remember spinning top? Did you know how to do that?
Now, now I can keep it real with you. I wasn't the best in the group, but I could hold my own. They had some guys who was a little older than me. I was to purchase my red and white top, and I put it down, and next thing you know, my top is all pegged up and split up, and I went home crying. You know.
Oh man, that I mean, there's it's definitely not like how it used to be, eh?
No,
I
no, no. It's
remember,
different. It's different. It's very different growing up, man. These kids, they don't do the things that we used to do. We had to spend time being a child. Nowadays, is a little bit different.
yeah, it is. It is most certainly different. I don't know if any of our viewers, if you guys are watching, what is one thing you remember from your childhood that these kids today don't do? Come on, drop in the line something from your childhood that uh, you did, you remember people did, but these kids today aren't doing it. Come on, let us know what stood out to you. Let me just remember. I'll mention a few things. City Market used to have uh, these trolleys that was left into the neighborhoods, and we would cut off the
Yeah,
wheel to make. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. That box card. I know what you're talking about. Makes that box card, and you pedal all the way down the street, down the hill, in the box card. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I haven't
Yes,
seen
sir.
I haven't seen a box card in a while. I have Lucretia, I have Jocelyn. I'm talking about playing outside. Kids today don't play outside. I
No,
mean, I
no.
think that's these kids, all of them got little inhalers. I wonder why they got so much inhalers today. They don't get that fresh air. Wooden scooter. Somebody talk about wooden scooter. What else did
Yeah,
you
that's what.
remember,
Yeah.
guys?
Yes, sir.
When was the last time you saw a kid climb a tree? Come on. When was the last time you saw a
Wow.
kid or
Boy, you
swing
know
in?
what? That's been a while, Ricardo. Kids don't climb tree no more, man. They busy inside on the computer all day.
Yeah, that is so unfortunate. Climb tree and listen, we man to see a girl climb a tree right now. People be like, no, nobody climbs tree anymore. You know, that's just crazy. Fishing. I mean, who fishing? I mean, come on, you got to be from the country to be. Now, back in the day we had these things and everybody was safe. Everybody thought it was okay. uh Times have changed so much. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching, keep on dropping some things that you remembered in your childhood. I was telling somebody the other day that there were two television programs that I went home, two adult television programs that I went home and rushed home for, and I loved
Right,
watching,
right,
was Highway to Heaven and Little House in the
right.
Prairie. I don't know if you remember those. Highway to
Oh,
Heaven and Little House in the Prairie.
yeah. I used to like Scooby Doo and Tom and Jerry, man. That's what's up.
Scooby Doo. What about Woody Woodpecker? Woody Woodpecker, right? And the Flintstones, and the Jetsons.
Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you can remember something amazing about your childhood, go ahead and do that. But now let's dive in. Let's dive in a little bit deeper. Denver, moving into growing up in the inner city. Uh, did you find yourself or when did you find yourself getting in trouble, and how did that evolve? How did that come about?
Yeah, you was kind of breaking up just a little bit. Ricardo, just repeat it one more time for me.
All right. So growing up, you found yourself eventually getting in trouble. How did that come about? What was the process of your rise to street life, if we want to call it that? Because you had a very interesting street life. Talk to us about it.
At an early age, Ricardo, I find myself getting in mischief, like the old folks used to say, and getting in trouble. Eventually, during my teenage years, and the reason for that, Ricardo, is because I grew up in the inner city, Yellow Elder Derby Road, where I got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Coming from school, coming to school, you see the thugs on the corner, you see the robbers, you see these guys every day,
Yep.
and they have an impression that it sticks on you, and walking from to in school. Not
Yep.
saying that you will grow up in a home knowing right from wrong, but every day you pass these guys, man, and see what they're doing,
Yep.
and it gravitates to you. Something just stick to you, and you want to follow, especially the older guys in
Yep.
your hood. What they were doing, you want to be like them because you see every day what they was doing, and it draw you in.
Yep.
We see the things, you see the attention that they were getting. We see the fancy cars, we see the jewelries, and you saying, hey, look, man, that's what I wanted.
Yep. Now there's still young people today. They don't get to see it as much in the neighborhoods as in
Right,
times past. But I think young people today, they get to see it on TV now. They get to watch
right,
television. They go online. They on their social media sites. They're seeing everything everybody else is doing, and they
right.
find that to be, something that they may be longing for. I want this. I'm going to get this, and so you found yourself uh, wanting to be a part. Did you ever join the gang? When you did, if how did that come about? What were some of the things that you guys were notorious for doing while you
But
hung out on the streets?
well, Ricardo, I know a lot of guys was in gangs. I always tell people I never was a gangster, but I know how to do gangster stuff. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying? Because
yeah,
I feel like I don't need to be a part of a group to do something. So I watched them from the distance and saw what they did, but I was never a part of no particular gang.
yeah.
For me, was making money. That's who I saw. I saw the guys who were making money, and I want to follow them. Hey, how I can put some money in my pocket.
Wow. I like that. Your environment matters, ladies and gentlemen. Be careful about the environment that you find yourself in. So in your early days, you started wanting that money. Ooh, which there are a lot of people. I've been teaching my son the importance of money and how do you get money and how you give service for money and value the value factor in relations to money. You wanted money. What did you do? How did you get involved in starting to make money? And did you really make any?
Yeah, Ricardo, even though coming from a home where my mother was absent, coming from a single family home, my sisters and brothers, thank God for them, they did the best to raise me up. But um, having a lot of free time on my hand, I get to roam the streets. I got to know who was who in the neighborhood. And sometimes when you know who is who in the neighborhood, you try to draw to them. So whatever they tell you to do, you try to do it so you can say, hey, look here, I want to come up. You know how we do it in the hood. It's all
Yep.
about coming up.
No. Yep.
And so
Yep.
you start off very, very at a young age with, little bags of weed and put it in
Yep.
your foil and flip it and
Yep.
make some money, and you turn it over, and
Hold on.
that's what
Slow down.
started.
Slow down. We got some people there. No, we got an international audience there. No, but a bag. So you're saying marijuana?
Yeah,
You got that
marijuana.
marijuana.
Yeah, so
It's popular, and so you found yourself sort of being a small hustler for the neighborhood, big
yeah,
hustlers.
you Yeah, you start off being a small hustler with your marijuana, and what we usually do is put it in little foil paper bags and
Yep.
sell it for $5, $10, and
Yep.
until you make so much, and then you invest back into it and
Yep.
sell it more and get more and things like that. One incident that really got my attention with that is when I was in high school. There was a friend of mine always used to come to school, Ricardo shop. He always wear a fresh pair of Clarks every day, and he
Yeah.
drive a 600 motorbike to school.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
asked him this question. I say, look, your man, soldier, why it seems that your pocket always gunky? That means gunky. That means he had a lot of money. He said,
Yep.
man, you need to come to my block and watch me. I said,
Yep.
what you mean watch you? So after that day, I went home, changed my clothes, jump on my Rex bike. You know those Rex bikes? I had a black and yellow one.
Yep.
So Ricardo, he live in Fate Avenue down on Carmichael Road, and I live in Yellow Elden. Between us was a hill.
Yep. You're breaking up a little bit.
So I climb up that hill on my bike. I almost reach his neighborhood, and he would show me what he done. And so his hustle was he was slinging. He was slinging the marijuana. He was slinging the crack cocaine. And I said, "Wow, that's what's up." He said, "Yeah, that's how I put food on the table, and that's how I take care of my family." So he was in grade 10 doing that, and I was like, wow, here it is. I have $10 for lighting. So that got my attention moving forward.
Denver, your video is breaking in and out a good bit. Ladies and gentlemen, are you guys experiencing the same breaking up? We're gonna see if that's going to continue. But I heard you met the guy. He was in the 10th grade. He was riding that 600 motorcycle. I know back then that was popular then, just as much as it's pretty much still popular to this day. Guys to be able to ride a 600 motorcycle, a 650 motorcycle, that would
Yeah.
be is considered an impressive deal. And so, yes, they said that you're going in and out Denver, so we're going to work on seeing if we can get that. But, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted you to hear. I want you to hear Denver's Pratt's story because I think it's an incredible story of redemption. I think it's an incredible story of it's not how you start, but how you finish, how you continue to work on becoming that person that you were destined to be. And so you started connecting with this guy. You started selling marijuana in small portions. You started building that reputation up with the guys and obviously with the community. Let's talk about how that evolved. What eventually happened? Did you become prominent, or you was always the second guy? Or maybe you were the third guy and there was a couple of guys above you, or did you ever become sort of a number one in the particular area? Share that with us, please.
Yeah, Ricardo, I always tell people, how you have some guys who try to big themselves
Yep.
up. I always tell people, man, I was never the man. I was probably the middleman in my organization,
Yep.
and I was the one who was trying to come up. And
Right.
as I graduated from the marijuana in the half bag, the
Yep.
circle that I connected with, we start doing things in the major league where we was taking it overseas. And
Right.
man, that was an introduction to seeing different people, going different places, man, and making a whole lot of money. Some monies that take the average individual back home a year to make. I was looking at that in a matter of days and weeks. And
Yep.
so, it's something like they say, as quick as the money come, Ricardo, the quick as the money goes. The Bible says a fool and his money will always depart. So I
Yep.
was
Yep.
making money and wasn't doing the right thing about the money, and it cost me to make some decisions that I would regret. I know some of the times I can tell you when I was overseas in the game, man, doing what I was supposed to do, and man, I had a lot of fun. What One of the things that me and my partner always did was we work first, then play. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? We take care of business first and play, and then when we play, our play was going to the strip club,
Right.
Ricardo. So I want to keep it 100 and real,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I love used to go to the strip club because I love watching the women. I love watching them drop it like a heart. I mean, drinking Alizé, Hennessy, spending money like stupid, don't know what it is,
Yep.
and just watching it. That's something that was what we call entertainment, man.
Yep.
And so that was a part of my lifestyle that those in the game do. When they finish making their funds, they go and just have a good time and stay in the strip club and just watch girls drop it like it hot.
Now, listen, it's interesting. Now, I thank you for sharing this. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Denver Pratt. He's sharing his story. We're talking about a man who is now walking in purpose, but is sharing his journey to purpose. Okay. And so you started coming up, you started selling marijuana, you started eventually moving to what they call a higher level of engagement in drug activities. So you started selling, but you started selling overseas. You started transitioning stuff. You started making more money than the average person. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard that. What some people made in a year, he said they could have made in a week. They could have made in a couple of months. And so let's talk about that rise there. How long did that occur? That you were the guy who was sort of slinging the drugs at a higher level, flying out, getting that nightlife, the hotel, the strip joints, the fast cars. What was some of that like? Hey, listen, did you ever own a Mustang? Okay. You know, back in the day, the Mustang with the airbrush on the door. Did you eventually find yourself going to Miami just on the weekend just to hang out? Talk to us a little bit about what occurred in that same window. Did you hear me or was I breaking up? I can't hear you.
Yeah, the crew that I connected. Yeah, I all the thing. What for me was good was I can get to my to Miami anytime and just shop and buy clothes and stuff. The one thing that was in was the Nauticas and the polos and stuff, and just buy clothes and buy shoes and things like that.
Yep.
And those it was in my peers saw that and they wanted to gravitate to me now because they know
Yep.
something was going on, but they couldn't just put their hand on it because anytime when you doing in the game, a lot of people see you and they size you up by what you wear, they size you up by what you dress, what you was driving, so they anticipate, boy, this brother he is into something, you see.
Yep.
And so you had a lot of younger guys who was looking up to what I did, even though I'm trying to tell them this is not the way to go, but they ain't hearing that, they're watching me.
Yep. Yep. Wow, they're watching you. So eventually you found yourself in prison. You found yourself being arrested. Tell us about how that occurred, what happened, and that had to be a rude awakening. This was not something you had planned for, but it occurred. Talk to us.
Yeah, Ricardo. Yeah, it definitely was a rude awakening, man. I can remember it so vividly, man. It was back in 1998, the 27th of August, man. My partner and I, we were going on a trip. Normally, what we do, we were in the ATL. We were in Atlanta, and we
Uh,
were headed, I think, in Carolina on I-75, man. And so what happened was halfway through our journey we get pulled over by an unmarked state trooper. And the reason that he said that he pulled us over, Ricardo, was because he wanted to give us a citation. He said that we were going in and out traffic. Well,
yep.
that was an excuse just to stop us because we've been doing this trip almost 100 times, so we know what the deal is. So he stopped us and said, "Hey, let me give you guys a citation." And then he said, "By the way, can we search the vehicle, Ricardo?" And so we looking at each other, do not really know the laws in the United States, and he proceeded to search the vehicle by himself. And this state trooper, Ricardo, wasn't satisfied. So he went to his car after he searched the vehicle and brought out a drug sniffing dog. And so what happened, Ricardo, was the dog patrolled around our car and the dog stopped at the back trunk of our vehicle. Now, Ricardo, when the dog stopped at the back trunk of our vehicle, I knew where we was in trouble. So the officer proceeded to open up the back trunk, and he discovered a black duffel bag, Ricardo, containing almost $500,000 of cocaine. And when he saw that, he eventually pulled his gun on us because he was saying to himself, if you Negroes have all of this dope, you got to be packing some ammunition. So
Yep,
we
yep.
didn't have no ammunition, and we went to a county jail, man, and that's how it happened.
Wow. So you ended up pulled over. This is Denver Pratt, ladies and gentlemen. He's sharing his story. Got arrested. Had drugs in the car. This is an activity at the time that he was engaged in a lot, becoming very prominent in the drug business at this particular stage. You ended up in county jail. What's going on there? Is this now Florida or is this Atlanta?
No, this is we was heading to Atlanta to
So you were still you were
Carolina.
still you were still in the Florida area.
In the Carolina, so kill, and we had to stay there. And so during my time in the county jail, Ricardo, now I'm trying to play out. I'm in the county jail, and I'm trying to figure out how this is going to play out. My mother told me years ago before she passed away from cancer, she said to me, she said, "Denver, if you ever got yourself in trouble, I want you to call on the name of God."
Yeah.
I didn't actually understand what she was trying to say because they're in the cell waiting to go to trial. We was reading it because we think if we read while we was reading the Bible,
You're breaking up
3
really,
of us
really
was
bad.
in the prison in the county jail reading the Bible. Yeah, you can hear me?
You're breaking up real bad. We might have to cut this short because you're breaking up real bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I was telling you that after you can hear me.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I was saying that after they arrested us, we went to the county jail, and we stayed there for a year before we went to trial. And during that time in the county jail, we was trying to hold on to something, and we was reading the Bible. And one of the things that my mother told me before she deceased, she says, "Denver, if you ever get yourself in trouble, call on the name of Jesus Christ." So we were reading the Bible, Ricardo, and we think because we reading the Bible, this is going to save us from getting locked up,
Yep.
right? But
Yep.
that didn't happen. So what happened is this particular day we were reading the Bible, and a prisoner officer was doing his rounds. He was counting, and he saw 3 of us reading the Bible, and he opened our cell door and he asked us as a question, "Are you guys saved?" A prison officer. And
Yep.
we told him no. And he asked us, "Do we want to be saved?" And from 1998 1999, Ricardo, to now, a prison officer led me to Christ,
Yep.
and I haven't looked back ever since. I'm
Wow.
not perfect, but I serve a perfect God.
Yep. 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 Wow. That's amazing. You're in prison. Pretty much, was it prison at the time, or it was still jail before you were
It,
sentenced?
it was county jail. It was county jail. I was waiting to go to trial.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this: what was the what the, you were in county jail? You got to court. You thought, man, listen, I'm a Christian now. I'm believing God for favor. I'm believing God for the judge to have some leniency on me. What happened?
Well, what happened was I went to the court and got found guilty, and the judge gave me 136 months, which is equivalent to almost 11 years and 5 months. And so that's what was up.
Yep. Wow. 11 years.
Yes, sir. I
Wow.
had to
Wow.
do I had to do 85% of that.
85% of it. Ladies and gentlemen, here's a man who was in court, was sentenced to 11 and a half years in prison because they were found with drugs in their car, drugs that they had owned, but obviously was involved in drugs. Let me ask you this. You stuck with God. You didn't throw in the towel on this idea that, oh my goodness, what can my life be? Uh, it had to be a bad idea to even look at some thought of promise in the future. Talk to us about where were you in that? You were sentenced. Now you also said you're going to walk in this new walk with the Lord. You're going to accept Jesus Christ. You accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior, but now you've been sentenced as well. What's going on in your mind at that point?
Okay, Ricardo, you're kind of breaking up a little bit. Could you repeat it?
All right, 11 and a half years, you're sentenced. You've accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior. You're going to prison. What's going on in your mind at that point?
Well, what's going on in my mind, Ricardo, was how I'm going to do this time because I'm away from the families. I'm away from the people that I love. At that particular time, my fiance just gave birth to our son. So my mind was running wild and trying to figure out how I'm going to get through this. Is she's going to leave me? Who's going to grow up my son? I'm not there. So a lot of things was going through my mind. But what happened was I really find out that my relationship with Christ caused me to ease some of that pain. You see what I'm saying? To focus on some of the things that I need to focus because in the prison life, Ricardo, is easy for you to get swayed away or get into stage in my prison bid that Denver, you're gonna have to focus on the positive things so you can get through this prison time.
Got to focus on the positive things, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm talking with Denver Pratt. I wanted to introduce this gentleman to share his story. He's a friend and a brother, and he is from the Bahamas, and he's got a story that is going to really be evolving and showing and helping persons to understand how he kept it together after having a bad start. It was a rough start, but guess what? The story did not end there. Okay, the story did not end there. Let's talk about this, Denver, as we come back in. We're gonna dive more about this when we can get a little bit better internet connection and we can break down some of the areas of your story a little bit more. But before we do that, I don't want us to share all of it because we're gonna come back to a part two. Talk to us about the fact that you, after the encounter with God, law enforcement in the United States, you've been sentenced for more than 11 years. You decided to continue this walk with Jesus. And then we're going to talk about coming out of prison and so forth. But you wrote a book about the experience from prison to purpose. Let's go there. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, there's more to the story. We're going to come back with a part two. But for that, you may just want to go ahead and buy the book. Okay? You may want to buy the book because his story is rich. Talk to us about this book, Denver. I'm looking forward to having part two of the conversation about your journey to purpose. But you wrote the book. What was going on in your mind when you wrote this book?
Well, Ricardo, one of the things that was going on in my mind was that I feel that my experience behind prison bars, I think I wanted to share it in a book so I can help those individuals that, I mean, when I say individuals, those young people that don't make the same mistake that I have made.
Yeah,
So I feel that if I can put that in a book, maybe they can read it and say, you know, Denver had made these mistakes,
yeah,
but now God has allowed him to change his life, and because his setback, now he was set up now to make his comeback. So
yeah,
one of the things I want to show them that, you know, in life, Ricardo, you can make a mistake, right? You can have a bad mess, but now you can turn that around and put that into a message. So
yeah,
part of writing the book is for me to reach out to those individuals, those younger people who are now contemplating, decide to make these choices, and they probably can look and read my book and learn from the mistakes that I have made.
yeah. Wonderful. I truly believe that as well. Do you have a copy of your book nearby? Do you have it right there next to you?
Yes, sir.
Let's see the book. Show
Yes,
the
sir.
ladies and gentlemen. There you go. There you go. We're going to post a link. Thank you very much, Denver. We're going to post a link in the live so that you guys can get an opportunity to order the book. From prison to purpose, the Denver Pratt story, an incredible story. I am delighted to be able to invite Denver Pratt to come on the Effective Living platform to share his story. We're going to do a part two. We're going to do a part two where we're going to dive into you're in prison, 11 plus years sentence. You've accepted Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior. But then there comes this journey in prison only to find yourself eventually having to come out and to enter re-enter society. There's so much more to this, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to miss it. Denver, how can people order your book? If they're in Nassau, in New Providence, how can they get your book if they're in the Bahamas? And if they're international and they're watching this and they want to read about your story, how can they order your book? Hello, we're not hearing anything.
Well, Ricardo, if they're international and get my book, they in Nassau, they can get copies from me. They in Nassau for hello.
Yep, I'm here. All right, you were breaking up again a lot right there. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to put his number on the link for those of you who want to get the
Yes,
book.
Ricardo.
Yeah, can you hear me? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get the book information. We're going to get the book information and we're going to provide that to you so that you'll be able to read Denver's story. It's a great story. I'm telling you, from prison to purpose. I'm going to break this story into pieces so that all of you can capture the value of how a man decided to, watch this, turn a life of bad decisions around to a life that's purposeful living. Okay, he's doing a phenomenal job at it. If you're in New Providence, you could go ahead right below and say, hey, I want to get a copy of the book. We'll make sure we get you that information. And if you're in here in the United States, I think Denver said you can go and get the book on Amazon. Yep, from Prison to Purpose, the Denver Pratt story. Go on Amazon, get the book. Listen, guys, you haven't heard the last of Denver Pratt. He will be back here on this platform. We're going to do a part 2 to ensure that you hear more about his story. Here's the deal. I believe strongly that it's not how you start, it's how you finish. I think it's important for us to understand life is a journey. Okay? It's not a destination. Our goal is to get better with age. Denver Pratt is setting the example on how to do it right after you start off making decisions that could have literally stopped you in all that you were doing. He decided to defy the odds and do something incredible with his life. So look out for Denver Pratt joining me again here on Effective Living real soon. God bless you guys. Have a great day. This is Coach Ricardo reminding you, you are responsible for creating the life you desire. If you don't like where you are, stop making the type of decisions that will get you the type of results that you are wanting. Don't keep doing what you've been doing and expecting something different. Do something different to get something different. Denver Pratt will be back with us here on Effective Living. God bless you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturdays. Bye bye.